Morning, all. So today would have been my dad's 91st birthday. He died back in February 2001. So he's been dead for 24 years. But I thought I'd tell a story. This story's in my book, but I'm not going to tell it how I wrote it in my book. I'm just going to use my words um, just to tell the story. So when I was about 12 or 13, there was a Yass rodeo on, and it was a big deal. In those days, the rodeo in Yass was huge. It was a major event for the Yass district. And Dad was a member of the Yass Lions Club, and the Lions used to have a barbecue set up there in this purpose-built little pavilion thing that was set up to sell food in. They'd have their barbecues going. They'd sell steak sandwiches and rissole sandwiches and sausage sandwiches and all those sort of meaty things that we like to eat. And so I was there with a mate of mine, Tim, and we were hanging out around the barbecue. And the Lions Club was a bunch of them were old football players, old rugby league players from the mighty Yass Magpies, who were all in the Lions Club and cooking barbecue. And like there was people queued up everywhere waiting for a feed. Like it was 10 deep. There was probably 30 or 40 people waiting in line to order a steak sandwich or whatever they wanted. Next minute, this guy starts yelling abuse at these Lions Club members who are all really good people. And this guy's he's a meathead. He's a big tall guy, covered in tattoos, earrings, and no judgment. I'm just drawing you a picture of the guy, and he's I can still see the guy. He's yelling abuse at the Lions Club because they wouldn't serve his wife. This is the claim he's making. And he starts yelling at them saying, "Who wouldn't serve my wife because she's an Aborigine?" Now, sorry about that term, but that's actually the term he used. I wouldn't never use that myself. So I won't say it again, but that's the term he used. And he starts pointing at all the guys yelling abuse at him, saying the same thing over and over again. Next minute, he points at Max, who's a big guy, ex-football player. He said it was you, wasn't it, big fella? And Max tries to be calm and says, "Look, no, we're all just doing our best to get to everybody as fast as we can. As you can see, we're really busy. How can we help, And then he turns to someone else, and he's just carrying on. And I'm looking at my dad, and my dad's cooking steaks. And he's just standing there quietly because Dad was very soft-spoken and very understated all the time. And then all of a sudden he points at Dad and he said, "It was you, wasn't it, mate? You wouldn't serve her." And Dad said, "No, we're trying our best." And then the guy said the thing that changed this whole situation. He said, "You're a fucking liar." With that, my dad never said another word. He took his apron off and he folded it neatly and he sat it on the table next to the barbecue and he walked out of under this little marquee thing. It was all made out of timber and corrugated iron. And he walked out past all the other lines, out to the front where this guy was, and just belted him. Didn't say anything, just belted this guy with an almighty punch that I can still hear today, the crack of when Dad just knocked this guy flat on his back. The whole crowd erupted that were all waiting for steak sandwich, clapping. Dad walks back in to where he's cooking the steaks, past all the Lions Club members who all just sort of looked at him smiling, like with a knowing look on their face. And Dad put his apron back on and went straight back to cooking steak sandwiches. Coolest thing, like for a 13-year-old kid, coolest thing I've ever seen. It was just so cool. So we're driving home to Bowning after the rodeo, and we're driving home, and we drive down past Bowning Hill, and coming up towards the second turn off, and I turned to Dad, and I said, "Dad, you told me you've never had a fight in your life." Because I'd always heard these stories about, Dad in football and things he did when he was playing football. And Dad used to always say that he never had a fight. And I said, "You said you never had a fight in your life." And Dad turned to me with a really cheeky smile, and he said, "Still haven't." Cheers.